Leon is a girl who traveled from the future when she was a child. A long time ago, aliens imprisoned their prisoners inside human beings. Her father, Guard, and Thunder were responsible for controlling these prisoners. One day, Designer, the leader of the prisoners, escaped from the prison. The city became filled with alien gas called Haba, and people began to die one by one. The alien prisoners inside human beings started to wake up. Designer wanted to release more Haba to change the Earth's atmosphere so that all humans would die and the aliens could control the Earth. 48 minutes before the Haba outbreak, Leon and Thunder tried to lock the aliens in the past and returned to prevent the outbreak. After landing in the past, they had a fight and her father died. Guard was damaged and Thunder stopped working. To return to the future, Leon needed the Divine Sword to return to the future and find Thunder. Also, Designer found a young boy in the woods and controlled him. 10 years later, the Divine Sword appeared, and many people, including a strange monk, 2 immortals from Samgak Mountain, and alien prisoners, searched for it. Leon got the sword and ran off. She became a target for many people who wanted the sword. She set out to find the ship and Thunder to return to the future and stop the Haba outbreak. After some time, Leon arrives in town and sits at a restaurant, disguised as a man with a mustache. A man named Gaidong, that the Thunder shooting girl, is heading to Byungnan Garden House. He warns her that it takes 4 days to reach Byungnan Garden without any rest stops and advises her to take a break. She asks about Thunder, and Gaidong tells her that woodcutter brothers near Hwangnung Mountain saw it. Suddenly, 2 wizards enter the restaurant to capture Leon for the reward. She fights them using her special skills and warns them to watch out for Thunder the next time they meet. As she leaves, she notices 2 cats following her, laughs and walks away. Meanwhile, the young man from 10 years ago, who pulled the sword from one of the immortals and killed the monster, wakes up. He asks about Zhang and goes to an old lady serving the house. She is deaf but writes that Zhang was found injured near a river in Hwangnung Mountain. When Zhang woke up, he killed the master of the place using a tail that rose from his back, injured and blinded one of the masters, and controlled the people. The boy asks why Zhang wants the divine sword. The old lady explains that Zhang was trapped in time and must find Designer to return. However, he remains stuck in a sick body because he wants to remember his past. To find Designer, who is hiding inside 4 bodies, they need to stab the bodies with the divine sword. The boy runs off after learning this, and the immortals follow him to stop him before the monsters appear. The 2 wizards visit a blind swordsman named Nung Pa, who owns a sword from the immortals of Samgak Mountain. They beg him to sell it so they can use it to get the divine sword from the Thunder shooting girl before Milbon finds it. When Nung Pa hears Milbon's name, he becomes interested because he was the master who lost his eyesight in a fight with Zhang. Since the divine sword can cure any disease, they agree to search for it together. Meanwhile, Muruk follows the path the girl took since he sent the 2 cats after her. The 2 wizards find him sitting for a meal. They suspect that the monster inside him can be reached. As the male wizard explains how the fan works, he sees a picture of a cat. Suddenly, the 2 cats following the girl turn into humans, Left King and Right King, in front of them. Suspicious people begin to follow them, so they all run and escape. The 2 wizards try to extract Muruk's power, but he starts losing control. When they play a flute, he becomes hypnotized. They tie him up and consider killing him to destroy the monster inside him. Unable to go through with it, they spend the time drinking and fall asleep. Muruk escapes using the fan and runs away. The girl pays for her night at the village. Zhang and his men arrive to take the divine sword. She prepares for him, standing on top of a grass house with a gun from the future. At first, she sees no movement, but Zhang suddenly jumps from behind and catches her as she turns. He takes her gun, but she pulls out another gun from behind and shoots him. He rolls to the ground but manages to escape. The girl starts running as Zhang's men chase her. Just then, Nung Pa appears behind them and kills them all. As the girl tries to escape, Nung Pa catches her and says he saw a man disappearing into the light years ago with the sword. Suddenly, a hand from behind snatches the sword away. It's Muruk, using a magic sheet to make himself invisible. Nung Pa tries to stop them, but Muruk and the girl manage to escape. Next, the story shifts to the future in 2022. A woman named Min Gai In, who works for customs and honors her ancestors daily, is doing yoga on a rooftop when she sees a thief running from the police. She subdues him, and the cops take him to a hospital, but he escapes. Soon, an alien ship appears in the city's clouds. A small part of the ship descends into the hospital, where it releases multiple tails that rot the heads of everyone nearby. The prisoner gets caught in the chaos. Young Leon sees and records the entire event. When Thunder arrives, everything seems back to normal. The prisoner escapes, and Min Gae-in chases him. She follows him to a basement and overhears Thunder talking to what she thinks is his car. He says to track Leon because she recorded the incident on her phone and is now at her friend Kim Min-seon's house, Min Gae-in's niece. She rushes home and hears the kids watching and reacting to the video. She tries to talk to them about their dad but leaves them to sleep. Later, Min Gae-in watches the video from Leon's phone and feels even more confused. She goes out with another cop to search for the prisoner. Suddenly, they see red smoke spreading through the city, killing anyone who inhales it. The smoke spares only those who were at the hospital earlier. Eventually, it stops spreading and is contained in that area. Min Gae-in and her niece watch the news, which shows the few survivors. Realizing this is the moment her ancestors warned about, Min Gae-in gathers her family's inherited weapon. She goes to the government to explain why the hospital survivors were spared, but they mock her and refuse to listen. She gets escorted out. Just then, Leon's dad calls, asking if Leon can stay with them for a few days. Min Gae-in agrees, knowing Min-seon will be happy about it. Becoming more suspicious about the situation, she prepares to investigate. Carrying the weapon her ancestors gave her, she sets out with her partner. As they walk, an ambulance passes by and stops at a row of houses. Inside are Jajang, Designer, and the thief. Min Gae-in and her partner follow them and discover an alien spaceship. Guard suddenly appears and jumps into the heart of the ship, trying to stab it with the divine sword. Jajang attacks him and transforms into a small device to get behind Thunder. After transforming back into human form, Jajang and Designer follow the car while Guard, Thunder, and Leon open a time portal, and they all head back to the past. He fights the aliens emerging from the ship. This is how Leon and the aliens arrive into the past, and she explains everything to Murok. Leon then asks why he saved her and why he needs the sword. He reminds her that they first met as children when he saved her by the riverside. They hug as she remembers him. He then asks about Designer, saying that he is possessed by Designer and must be stabbed with the sword to stop him. Leon cries and begs him not to do it since she cares about him. She then takes the sword and leaves. Meanwhile, Jajang and his army find the ship and order them to bring Gaedong. Murok is having dinner with the right and left kings when they hear that the girl is being hunted. They find her sleeping on a roof. Murok wakes her and tells her he knows where Thunder is. He takes her to a place filled with paintings and the machine she was looking for. Thunder. Since Thunder's energy is drained, she can't reactivate him. Outside, the two kings who were cats earlier see older versions of themselves approaching. Confused, they run and reach Gaedong's house. Just then, the army arrives and takes Gaedong before he can explain anything. Left King tries to save Right King, but gets stabbed. As he starts to vanish, Thunder begins to wake up but powers off again. Meanwhile, Jajang learns the truth that 10 years ago, a young student of Hyungam was expelled because he was possessed by a monster controlled by a fan. Next, Leon reaches the river and learns that the iron car was taken to Byungnan Garden House last night by masked people. At night, the two immortals go to Byungnan Garden House to find Murok, but discover that the place is empty and dark, as if no one has been there for a long time. When they light the fires, they find all of Jajang's people lying dead. Nung Pa sits in a corner and tells them that he found them already dead and that a monster is present. Leon also arrives at the house looking for what was taken from her. Muriok and the Right King also arrive. They run to the stairs and find Gaedong stabbed and wounded. Gaedong tells the Right King that Jajang is looking for him and that he came from the machine Leon was searching for 10 years ago. Gaedong takes his last breath and dies. Leon finds her iron car in one of the rooms. Nung Pa sees Jajang floating into the sky, meaning the alien is out looking for Murok. The alien suddenly appears and stabs the Right King in the heart, killing him. The alien continues hunting Leon for the sword. Everyone begins to fight it. As it approaches Murok, the alien stabs him in the heart with the sword, hoping to release Designer from his body. Leon runs to him and forcefully pulls the sword out, cutting her hands in the process. Just then, Muruk's mind flashes back to what happened 10 years ago in the woods. Designer tried to enter his body, but Thunder threw Designer off a cliff. Thunder's power weakened, and he transferred all his energy to Muruk instead. At the bottom of the cliff, Leon found Designer's body. As she stood there, Designer entered her body, but she lost her memory of it. The cut on Leon's wrist changes everything as she starts transforming into Designer. The Right King vanishes and turns into Thunder. Leon tries to shoot herself with a gun but loses control. Together with Zhajong, she returns to the future to finish what they started 10 years ago, following the two immortals who are now carrying the sword. Time resumes in the future from where it paused, and the countdown begins. All the alien prisoners wake up to help Designer. Min Gai-in runs to the SWAT team to warn them not to enter the red zone, but they ignore her and go in. The aliens kill the entire team. Leon chases the two immortals carrying the sword. They are caught by the police and taken to the station with Min Gai-in. Suddenly, a car crashes into them, and the aliens start chasing them into a moving train. The two immortals board the train while Min Gai-in stays behind. Meanwhile, Leon's niece is at Leon's house, terrified because Zhajong is there. In the past, at Byongnan Garden House, Thunder transforms into a human form and tries to wake Muruk. He shows Muruk what he can do with his power. They find the iron car and ride it into the future of 2022. Nungpa regains his eyesight from a wound caused by the sword and sees them riding into a light bridge. When they arrive, Thunder transforms the car into a ship and flies toward the alien ship. Meanwhile, on the train, Leon tries to catch the two immortals. Muruk and Thunder spot the train, jump down, and start fighting the aliens. Leon catches up with the immortals and takes the sword from them. Muruk, wearing an iron plate dress, gets on the train and grabs the sword from her. As Muruk gets close to her, Leon stabs him twice with her alien tail and takes back the sword. But Muruk grabs her with his other hand and starts transferring his energy to her. She begins to transform into an iron dress, and the sword merges with her body. Using Thunder's power, she starts to pull the alien prisoner from inside her. The other prisoners try to stop her and free their master, but Thunder holds them back. Leon transfers Designer into one of the prisoners' bodies. The body can't hold two aliens, so it explodes into flames inside the train. They collapse and wake up at Thunder's living place, near the alien ship. Zhajong is waiting for them, and there are only 5 minutes left until the Haba explosion. Thunder starts fighting Zhajong, while Leon lies on the ground. The alien that exploded reforms with two faces and tries to take Leon's body while she is still in the iron dress. Next, Min Gai-in arrives with Nungpa's sword and attacks the alien. Nungpa had sent a message to his ancestors in 2022, which is revealed to be Min Gai-in, to prepare weapons for the immortals and Muruk. They all fight together with everything they have. Muruk draws his sword from the fan and starts attacking. Thunder tells them that humans, working together from the future and the past, can defeat the aliens. Thunder tells Leon to insert the sword into the heart of the ship to stop the countdown. As Leon runs toward the ship, an alien grabs her, but Thunder cuts off its tail and frees her. With only 20 seconds left before the Haba explosion, Leon jumps and throws the sword into the heart of the ship. The ship starts to close and the aliens vanish. Designer tries to find a new body and targets Minseon. Muruk gets in the way and stops it from entering her body. Leon uses her energy to trap Designer inside a small crystal glass and saves her childhood friend. However, the crystal starts to crack, and Thunder says it needs to be destroyed in outer space. He says he will die if he takes it, but it's the only way. He tells Leon it's time and says goodbye as she cries. Thunder transforms into the right and left kings and hugs Muruk. He enters the alien ship and flies into the sky to destroy it. Before anyone can say goodbye, the gate to the past opens and takes everyone back, leaving Leon, Min Gai-in, and Minseon behind. Leon and Muruk don't get to express their feelings for each other before they part. Back in the past, they feel proud to have saved the world. But Muruk sits in sadness. He remembers Thunder saying the energy at Byongnan Garden House is unstable. He checks the site and finds that the gate has reopened. Determined, Muruk runs toward it to return to the future and find Leon. The end. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like our channel and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Also, let us know what movie you would love us to recap for you.